It's Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. I'm in this Federal Reserve note system. I'm watching what's going on the evening news. Now, I've heard things on the television before in the movie category, not a genre of movie that I actively pursue, but as of late, I've been brushing up on some of their vocabulary. Um, they suggest these things of aiding and abetting terrorists. Now, again, with this being the children on the Federal Reserve System and on the United States of America known system to inhabit these lands, and seeing what's coming in and not knowing where they come from. Yesterday I wrote tourism, or is it terrorism? How do you tell the difference? And like, who's the funding manager or what group is involved? Just to narrow down suspects or whatever. But now today I'm listening at it because I don't ever want to be criminalized for being in a city with this going on. I don't really know what level of authority needs to know, but it would seem that somebody is responsible for this. So I'm listening, and I'm also watching for the names of the groups associated with the individuals. This one happens to be, I think, Neighbor Link. The other one was something about mutual, whatever. I put it up on my Facebook page because I'm like, how do you report them? So this way this stops happening.
A year ago this week, the first bus carrying migrants seeking asylum arrived in New York City. Now the city says it is at the breaking point. Shelters are bursting at the seams. Migrants waiting to be processed are sleeping on sidewalks. The mayor admitting defeat and calling for help. Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg joins us from the newsroom with more. Lauren?
Charlene, a big issue is that these newcomers are not allowed to work and earn an income, so many are forced to turn to the city for food and shelter. The city says it has spent $1.4 billion in the past year and expects that number to double.
So they have, I don't understand how this works either. They have money in the budget for these vagrant, like homeless persons that just arrive. But myself, who was born here, who went to school and went through the process in New York, was never offered employment at like a federal level or at a state's level or even at a city level. Even though needing some kind of like I need, like, desire some level of participation, but where it exists, I don't know. But they came up with money to feed these homeless children from I don't know where, all over. I don't know, like, again, it's the whole I have a whole list of what's frightening about this.
Double in the next year. And while the number of asylum seekers arriving in New York City has dropped recently, a backlog to get them processed remains. What began as a political stunt soon became the norm, busing asylum seekers who arrived in Texas up to New York City. Since then, as many as 93,000 asylum seekers have arrived in the city, and about 50,000 remain in the city's care. The mayor began by welcoming them, but has since said the city is overwhelmed with limited room to house them and not enough money. These are images from just the past few days in Midtown, those immigrants waiting to get processed.
Now I'm trapped in somewhere in Queens. Like, this is going on in New York. I don't know who's responsible. I don't know who's behind it. And then it affects things that go on here. But they have money to deal with this, but they don't have money for the children that actually are born here and raising up into the system. Again, this gets really confusing to try to even logically process.
At the Roosevelt Hotel. Today, ahead of the anniversary of that first bus of asylum seekers arriving in New York City, advocates for these migrants say that there is little support at the federal level and poor coordination at the local level.
We have seen very little action being taken by the Biden administration. With the stroke of a pen, the president action being taken by the Biden.
Now, this says New York Immigration Coalition. Like, is there an FBI? Like, how do you submit a file to the FBI? And is the FBI being run by children or managers that actually look like Federal Reserve portrait children, like the one our monetary system goes off of in this area?
With the stroke of a pen, the president can authorize humanitarian parole for this population. He can redesignate and renew.
Now, is he trying to shame the American president into action? Because, again, that seems, I don't know.
Temporary protected status, and he can expedite work authorization literally without congressional approval.
We do not have enough staff to meet the needs of asylum seekers in our area.
Okay, so now this one, this is her name and this is her face. And she's got neighborhood link. They just start up these. This is like startup. Again, like, I don't know. And then I don't understand this level of business. So, or how they're even able to continue.
In our area, we need more funding so we can hire more attorneys and train more volunteers and continue providing these legal services.
Asylum seekers are 10 times more likely to win their case if they have legal representation. And to help on that end, the mayor's office announced this morning that college students from Columbia and CUNY schools will help asylum seekers navigate the immigration process, and they will get college credit for their work.
Now, are they duping the college kids into aiding and abetting terrorists? Because, again, and increasing the population in dangerous categories? Because, again, like, I don't know, where do, like, the actual pedigree paperwork, where is that issued from? And why are the local schools and law students engaging in dangerous practices by helping and encouraging this level of behavior? It looks like, from my position here, it looks like anarchy. It just does. It looks like purposely trying to break down the system of New York and force certain actions. Now, this was the show from yesterday at noon. The man actually standing in New York, doesn't speak any English, with the word money on his head, which is the money associated with this. So again, I don't know if this is a ploy, if they think that this is somehow funny or a joke at some level, but I'm sitting here in absolute horror and I'm just documenting it. And over here it says the Google jacket, and it says no BS. I don't know what that means. Like, again, I don't really speak underground. I mean, kind of, sort of, but not. I mean, I pick up on patterns, but I don't, like, I'm not sure who is involved. This looks like, again, like video gamers or like underground, like the promoters and like the kids that get to play all day and have plenty of money and all the time in the world, which I'm not one of those persons. I'm the one who's stuck in 8-foot ceilings and in a series of rooms, and I don't know how to find my own kind. So, I mean, two totally different storylines.
Line of asylum seekers outside the Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown is shorter finally, but migrants are still sleeping outside the hotel on the sidewalk as they wait to get processed. Now city officials are calling on the federal government for help. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu has more from Midtown.
We have seen some movement out here. People are getting processed and then they're boarding these MTA buses, but the line out here remains. Some of them here since overnight, hoping that today is the day they get processed and then move on to the next step.
Cansado.
It's been a tiring 24 hours, waiting and sleeping on the sidewalk on the corner of East 45th and Vanderbilt after an already lengthy journey.
Like, I don't know what level of tourism this might be. Like, what kind of tour? From what kind of, like, again, if there's somebody in charge of life leases, like a new leaf on life, a new lease on life, and they have land leases and tenancy leases. I don't know who that person is that's in charge of that level of stuff, but this is concerning because this looks like combative behavior. And this looks like an insult to that level of intelligence, whatever it's called, wherever it exists. I know it exists somewhere in the galaxy. I just don't know at what level, and I don't know what the respectful words are in order to call for help to whoever is in communication with that level of excellence.
3 meses y medio. 3.5 months from Venezuela to El Paso, Texas, then a 5-day bus ride to Midtown Manhattan. This migrant is just one of dozens who have spent the night outside the Roosevelt Hotel the last several days. The hope, get processed and then board a bus to a shelter somewhere else in the 5 boroughs.
It's not going to get any better. From this moment on, it's downhill.
Mayor Eric Adams says this is the new reality if help doesn't arrive soon. The city continues to fill up its emergency shelters. The federal funding won't cover the $4 billion the city is expected to spend by next year. And the mayor says the White House has yet to speed up the work permit authorization process, a move that could help alleviate the migrants' reliance.
And that sweatshirt looked like the Netherlands colors. So again, that gets really confusing as well. Again, there's the Olympic version of the Netherlands colors, and then I have like my own interior confirmation in current history what they're saying the connection with the Netherlands are in a completely different color schematic, but that's because I really am whatever is here.
On city resources.
If I can get work authorization, this would be a substantial game changer for us because we have a lot of jobs that need to be filled. We can take people out of the shadows of the black market.
Asylum seekers say that's all they want to do. They want to work and to start their new lives.
Bueno, que me den como un permiso de trabajo.
But at this point, they have no choice but to wait. The Legal Aid Society and the Coalition for the Homeless say they will have no choice but to take legal action if the situation does not improve. In Midtown, Janice Yu, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
New this noon, nurses work.
And there was another, I think I deleted it, but I snapped a quick photo of it and then I put it on my Facebook yesterday when I noticed it because things go in like a news cycle so fast. There was a person's name and then the, not coalition, but some other word that they use. It was some kind of like mutual group. I guess it was some kind of funding that they got, I guess, for doing whatever the professionals do at shutting things down or making sure the dangerous things get defunded so they don't become societal problems going forward in the future, especially when it's like an unbeknownst, unexpected event, which is what it is for me at this point. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, it's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.